Beyond Emissions podcast by Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. You hear the background. It is a live event today. We're pre-recording our episode here today at the Solagent YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell in the corner as well. Comment down below so that you can be a part of this ongoing conversation about what it's going to take to create a world that is beyond emissions. By the way, if you missed out on our event, oh my gosh, what a great time at 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125, our Sacramento warehouse grand opening. We had it on May 18th, and it was fantastic. Lots of awesome Solagent vendor partners here with us at the grand opening. In addition to you, our listeners, the installers here in California, we're excited to celebrate our grand opening. The next few episodes that we have here at the Solagent YouTube channel for Beyond Emissions are all pre-recorded episodes from our grand opening on May 18th in Sacramento. Again, our new warehouse in Sacramento. Stop by and visit 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 in Sacramento. Stop by and visit. And in addition, if you're a Solagent customer, by the way, would you like to be a Solagent dealer? Just click on the link below. Find out more. Join us today at Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. Okay, so if you join us here at Solagent, not only do we have all of your energy storage needs taken care of, your solar panel needs, your inverters, your electrical balance of systems, your racking, everything that you need under the sun, pardon the pun, we have it available right here at Solagent. Again, become a dealer. Click on the link below today. But once you're a dealer, you also get deliveries to your job site, to your location, and right here at our location where we're broadcasting today from at the new Sacramento warehouse. We have them around the country, but here in Sacramento today we're celebrating our grand opening at 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125. You can get will call pickup. I'm already seeing right behind me trucks going ahead and backing up. They've got their orders picked, ready to go, loaded up on the truck, and off to the job site, making it so simple and so easy. That's our goal here at Solagent. So click on the link below to find out more on how you can become a Solagent dealer today. Okay, an excellent episode. Our first guest today, guests actually, plural, here on the Beyond Emissions podcast. We have our friends from SolarEdge. Brian Ahrens, our distribution channel representative, here with us today. Brian, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Excited to check out meet all the installers you have here, and happy to be part of the podcast. Can't wait to get a taco at the huge taco truck.
Oh, man. By the way, give a shout out. What's the name of the taco? Paquitas Mexican Grill.com. We've got asada fries, tacos, molitas, burritos, and quesadillas coming to our customers here today, and we get a chance to sample that. That's pretty cool. Solagent does it right for our customers, don't we?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. And we couldn't do it if it wasn't for great partners like SolarEdge. Also with Brian as well, and forgive me for the background noise, but we've got a lot of action happening here at the Sacramento warehouse grand opening. Again, stop on by and visit the team here at 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 in Sacramento. With Brian from SolarEdge today as well, we've got Alex. Forgive me, your last name, Alex?
Alex Perez, Regional Sales Manager for NorCal.
Excellent. Alex Perez is with us. I write like a doctor, so I did not write your name correctly. Sorry about that. And as well, Leandro Damonte. Alex and Leandro, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. Leandro and Alex, they cut their teeth in the business. You were once an installer, Alex, as well. You guys have your experience from the installer's perspective. So we're going to go in today how SolarEdge can make a big difference in helping our customers, empowering them to create a world that is beyond emissions with solar plus energy storage, and do so that in a way that's financially advantageous. Making them more profitable, more competitive, and be able to make more sales. All of that is possible with SolarEdge. You can get SolarEdge at Solagent. By the way, folks, click on the link below to find out more. But you're going to be speaking from the installer standpoint, labor savings, install time, time is money, and we're going to go there today. We're going to go into those details for our customers. And, before we get started, Brian, I've been working with you for quite a while now. I'm excited about NEM 3. A lot of people are afraid of NEM 3, but they don't need to be afraid of NEM 3 because the technology exists, i.e., example, SolarEdge, available here at Solagent. SolarEdge has technology deployed and available in stock at Solagent right now that can help, we mentioned a moment ago, decrease labor, install times, profitability for your customers, increase sales. But NEM 3 doesn't have to be a scary thing because storage can really help customers thrive under NEM 3 with their solar systems and get a true ROI and achieve all of their goals that they might have. Introduce our customers and our listeners who are just tuning in for the first time. Introduce them real quick. A little background on SolarEdge, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, I think right now is an incredibly pivotal time for all the installers out there, and we want to make sure they're comfortable making the transition between NEM 2 and NEM 3. It's going to be a slightly different sales pitch, but this is a pivotal time to learn about a slightly different way to sell solar and how to maintain a really reasonable ROI. SolarEdge has a really unique technology here where you can produce more power because of our DC coupled technology and reduce your labor, have MPU mitigation, and it's really a company that has a full suite of products. So you have batteries, your optimizer, your inverter, smart home energy devices, EV charging, and we have a really strong value prop basically around MPU mitigation. So now that under NEM 3, each battery with AC coupled solutions would need its own individual breaker. So if you were at, let's say, 30% main panel upgrades under NEM 2 when you weren't doing batteries at all, get ready for that to really skyrocket under NEM 3, because if you're already having no issues with MPUs, then now you have to install that extra. You need extra breaker space for each battery under AC coupled, but with SolarEdge, your batteries are on the DC side, so you can put up to 3 batteries on a single inverter, and all 3 of those batteries share that single breaker that you're using for PV that your inverter's already on. Same thing with an EV charger. The EV charger is powered by the inverter. So instead of with other systems, you have to go to a third-party company to get your EV charger. It needs its own breaker. That EV charger wouldn't communicate with the inverter in any way. If you go get your EV charger from SolarEdge, you already have an inverter from SolarEdge. You don't need a separate breaker for the EV charger, and you can control that full suite of items with a single app. So you have one company to deal with for the entire project.
Let's go into that just a little bit. By the way, folks, thanks again for tuning in here at the Beyond Emissions podcast by Solagent, the largest pure play solar distributor in the Americas. You hear the background noise. It's because we're at our grand opening, Sacramento warehouse, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125. We're about ready to have some tacos. You guys excited? That's what I'm talking about.
We love tacos.
Tacos, and one of the great things too is all the refreshments here behind us. So customers come and get some wine, some beer, some soda, some punch, some water, and we've got food. We're going to feed you. We've got prizes from all of our vendors like SolarEdge. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate you. Let's go into that a little bit further. MPU, main panel upgrades. Very, very costly. What does that cost look like to the installer when they have to upgrade their main panel for their customer?
Yeah, well, there's the simple cost, just the raw cost of getting that panel. That's going to be a few $1,000. It might be $4,000 or $5,000 easy, but really that might take 2 extra weeks, 3 extra weeks, depending on how long it takes to deal with the utility in that time. So that's slowing down the time that it takes the installer to get paid, right? So if you're doing a main panel upgrade, you get paid slower, you finish the job a lot slower, it costs more money. If there's another installer out there that doesn't have to do the MPU, they finish their job up quicker and they're on to the next job much sooner. And that's really what we want to talk about today, is a single day install with a battery.
Who wants to have to, folks, you're listening right now, that must kill you every time you do an install and you have to roll the trucks back out again and again and again. That's not cheap. That's not free.
How about the labor savings? So if you're not doing an MPU, you don't have to have a special electrician that is comfortable doing the MPU, installing that new panel. So there's not only the cost of the materials, not only the time, but the specialized labor. So with SolarEdge, you're less likely to need to hire special labor. If you're subcontracting it out, you have to schedule with that person. In our DC optimized technology, all the batteries sit behind the inverter and are going to save thousands of dollars and many days in labor.
And you can see in the news, you've got all of the news outlets coming out and reporting on the fact that in 2035, electrical vehicles are going to be mandated here in the state of California. So electrical vehicle EV adoption is going to be a mainstay. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to increase exponentially, correct? And if that's the case, having an EV charger solution, wow, SolarEdge really stepping up in that area, man.
I like to think about SolarEdge installs as planting an organic seed, where the installer can go back and reharvest those previous SolarEdge projects they've done by coming back to the homeowner and offering a quick and easy way to install the first battery, second battery, third battery, or an EV charger like you were talking about, Josh. So the homeowner might not have an EV today, but if they get it in the future, it's not going to be a big hassle to install the EV charger because it sits behind that inverter.
Is there an actual input for the EV charger in the inverter? So
Exactly.
You just really,
Right.
Wow.
And of course, it's going to communicate on that single app. I don't know about you, but I already have too many apps on my iPhone. And now you can control the multiple batteries, inverter, and the EV charger scheduling, and even smart energy devices just with that single SolarEdge app.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. The flexibility of SolarEdge. We're going into labor savings, main panel upgrade, mitigation, which is very costly. Using SolarEdge, you can mitigate those costs and make yourself more profitable, get the job done faster, save money on labor, and help get your customers with clean energy deployed very, very quickly that is cost effective for them as well. Let's go into that a little bit. Some of the flexibility of SolarEdge. And by the way, thanks for listening, folks. Beyond Emissions podcast by Solagent. We're live today at 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 at our grand opening in Sacramento. SolarEdge here with us today. Alex, Leandro, and Brian joining us here at the broadcast booth. Flexibility in programming of when you want to charge the EV. Forgive me for being stuck on this electrical vehicle thing, but in California, it's going to be huge. Deciding when you're going to charge that EV battery, that can be very advantageous as well, right? Tell the listeners about, how that works in regards to more expensive sometimes versus others. How does it work?
Right. Exactly, yeah. I'm sure all the installers out there are aware of how power costs different amounts during different hours for the utilities in California. So charging your EV at night is something you could schedule. It's just done in an app, so it's automatic, super easy to make sure you're charging your EV when power is the least expensive. We also have a smart battery management algorithm so that you can dump the battery into the grid during the most profitable hours.
Wow. That's allowed to export, at given times throughout the day. You can export using the battery, not just what's coming from the PV array.
Exactly, yeah. And right, so you can not only, you can export the PV you're producing on the roof, sure. Under NEM 2, that makes more sense, but the amount that the utility pays you decreased under NEM 3. However, there are some times when the utility wants you to discharge your battery, and with our smart battery management algorithm, you can discharge only during the times where it's most profitable for you.
Oh, how cool is that? And then going back to the EV, you also have a PV boost function as well. A lot of folks are working at home, and so they're not gone driving around during the day. They're parked during the day. What a big advantage for our work-at-home population, right? Utilizing PV boost to charge up their EVs as well.
Exactly. You can charge faster. It's a level 2 charger, but you can charge even faster during periods of production. In a moment, I want to introduce Alex here, who's going to give some insights around his experience being an installer and labor savings. But before we do that, I wanted to mention just the general architecture around having a DC optimized system. We're going to produce more. So you could have a system of the same size with AC coupled technology, but because it's going through what we call the 3 inversions, so it's kind of that you're going to have losses during each of those conversions, right? So with the AC coupled system on the roof, the modules produce power in DC, and then under the module, they are going to have a micro that converts to that DC to AC. Then to put the power into the batteries can only store power in DC. So that AC you just converted, now you have to convert back to DC. So that's a second conversion. And then when the home wants to use the power, you have to do a third conversion, taking that DC out of the battery and putting it back to AC. So every step along the way, each of those 3 conversions, you become less efficient. Where with SolarEdge, we take the DC from the modules and we can put DC direct into the battery without going through any conversion. And you only go through a single conversion when you were to use the inverter from the modules to the home or discharge the battery into the home. So a single conversion, that's why we're much more efficient. On average, depending on the size of the system, you could end up with more than 10 days of extra power. So the same size system, you're adding about 10 days of extra production with a SolarEdge DC optimized system.
It makes sense, and SolarEdge DC optimized solutions are available right now here at Solagent. Click on the link below. We'll go and take a super quick break, and we'll come right back. Brian, thank you so much for being on our Beyond Emissions episode. Is this exciting or what? The taco trucks over there, customers are coming in, SolarEdge is here, Solagent is making it happen. I love that we get to work with great partners like you here at SolarEdge. Thanks for making this such a great party for everyone today.
Beautiful weather. We're happy to be here.
Awesome
Event.
Awesome. We're going to take a super quick break, and then Alex Perez coming back after this. We're going to talk about the labor saving aspects of SolarEdge when we come right back after this, broadcasting live from the Solagent Sacramento warehouse grand opening, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 in Sacramento. Be a Solagent dealer in California. Get advantages. Pull up your truck. We'll call pickup, delivery. We've got it all. Click on the link below to find out more. Be right back with Alex from SolarEdge to talk about labor savings when we come right back after this. Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas.
We at Solagent are incredibly excited to announce our partnership with GivePower. Well, we wouldn't be here today talking to you about GivePower if it wasn't for our partners, LoanPal. They've been with GivePower since the beginning. Their contribution has given water and light to countless people across the globe. We are truly inspired by LoanPal's dedication to the cause. Something LoanPal said really strikes a chord regarding GivePower, that this is something that's more than money. It's what makes making money more worthwhile. In a lot of ways, that's synonymous with what we're doing here at Solagent.
Here's how you can help.
What we've decided to do is compound LoanPal's contribution by donating to GivePower on every order paid via our direct pay program through LoanPal. That's right. Every time your company uses your LoanPal portal to pay Solagent for material, 5 people get clean drinking water for a full year.
Together we're stronger.
Together, we can choose to be extraordinary by giving to people who live outside our reach. To us, this means a lot.
Solagent's purpose meets GivePower's mission. Join the impact. Solagent, Solar Engine. SolarEngineSolutions.com. Go there to find out more. Hey, welcome back. Beyond Emissions Podcast. by Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. We're broadcasting live 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 here in Sacramento. All the advantages you get from Solagent, your solar panels, your inverters, your batteries, your racking, your electrical balance of systems, all available right here, delivered to your job site also as well. At our warehouse here in Sacramento, a great grand opening, a great showing, awesome vendor partners with us here today. Prizes, we've got drinks and refreshments. Also as well, we've got some awesome Paquitas Mexican food. The truck is pulled up, so we've got tacos for all of the customers that are here. How exciting. Well, I'm going to have a taco as well, so I hope they don't mind if I have some of those delicious tacos too. I'm so glad that we've got our awesome friends from Solar Edge. By the way, Solar Edge Solutions available from Solagent. Click on the link below to find out more. We just spoke with Brian Ahrens, our distribution channel representative from Solar Edge, discussing a lot of different advantages, mainly the MPU avoidance mitigation, the main panel upgrade avoidance. It can cost up to $4,000 to $5,000, time and labor, all of that extra that you don't need to spend, that you shouldn't have to spend. And if you go with a more efficient DC optimized solution from Solar Edge, you can eliminate that cost from your equation. And speaking of cost savings, why should you choose Solar Edge? Well, all those reasons I just described. But labor savings, install timeline, all of that matters. And Leandro DeMonte's here with us. But first, we're going to speak with Alex Perez, who cut his teeth in the business as an installer. So, Alex, welcome to the Beyond Emissions podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here with Solagent, the family, and having this great partnership. Excuse me if I find it hard to concentrate with this taco truck right next to it. Looks like they're starting to cook up.
Oh, it smells delish, man, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Installers, get over here. If you're hearing this, I know this is pre-recorded, but if you're in the podcast universe and you can feel the tacos being cooked, get over here now, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125. And even if you miss out on the party, it is okay. Come on by. We'll give you a tour of the place. Solar Edge, an amazing partner. We talked all about the advantages with Brian. You have walked a million miles in the moccasins, or the footsteps, if you will, of the installers that are listening to the Beyond Emissions podcast here today. You know their pain. You know you have empathy for what they're going through, what their customers are going through, especially under NEM 3 in California. And if you want to learn more about NEM 3, you came to the right place, right? And labor savings, install timelines. Solar Edge really makes a difference from an installer's vantage point, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, coming from Sunrun on the installer side and the sales side, you know, most of our installer, we make our buck on either per job or system size, right? So, you know, with the NEM 3 thing, you know, it's going to have a direct impact on the installers. So, you know, being able to, you know, go into a home and cut our install times in half is going to be greatly advantageous for a lot of the installers out there. Brian had mentioned MPUs, right? So MPUs, you know, nowadays with everybody, the backlog that everybody has, they're taking, you know, at least 2 months. And that's if everything goes right. You know, with a lot of rain that we had, PG&E will show up, the utility will show up, and it's raining, guess what? We have to reschedule back of the line, right? So another 2 months. So again, avoiding that MPU is going to be huge in this new NEM 3 era here. And Solar Edge is at a great position for homeowners and installers.
If you're an installer, Alex Perez from Solar Edge, installer-facing representative from Solar Edge. Leandro with us as well. DeMonte, thanks so much for being here. You're absolutely right. From the installer's perspective, you know, it's all about taking care of the customer and doing it in a timely manner.
Absolutely.
What does the business look like when you have to take those extra days, even months, to get a job completed? There's so many hidden costs beyond just the materials, beyond just that upfront investment. And as an installer, you kind of have to pass that through. You can't just eat it and lose money. You have to pass that through. And so not having the advantages that Solar Edge offers. By the way, Solar Edge solutions available at Solagent. Click on the link below to find out more. Not having those advantages as an installer means you have to charge your customer more because you have to account for all of those costs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about cost, with the Solar Edge advantage is you can go in and install, PV, inverter, and battery all in one day, because you don't have to necessarily, take those critical loads and relocate them. You don't necessarily have to have that electrician on site or that more experienced laborer to relocate those loads. It could be a standard regular installation as it was before, PV only. All we're doing now is mounting the battery, having MC4 connector, done. Easy peasy.
Now, which loads then are being powered by the battery and the inverter in case the grid goes down? If the grid goes down, is it just powering straight to the main panel and whatever that can absorb, or how does that work?
Well, with our battery and inverter partnership, essentially it's going to be more for rate arbitrage. With the utility, paying back so little now for, that production, being able to store it and sell back at the most crucial times when it's most advantageous to a customer is going to be huge. So that's just with the battery and inverter a solution, which is going to be the rate arbitrage, and that's going to be where we see a huge portion of the business shifting to.
Yeah, and folks, if you're in California, NEM 3 is a reality. Solar Edge with us here. Thank you so much, Alex, Leandro, and Brian joining us from Solar Edge, educating us today on NEM 3 strategies is what we're going to go into. Perfect segue. Appreciate that, Alex. We've talked about the labor savings, the efficiency differences of DC optimization versus the competition that's out there. MPU main panel upgrade mitigation, the cost $4,000 to $5,000 additionally. You've touched on some of the labor savings. Being in the shoes of an installer, you know what they're going through, and using a Solar Edge solution can make a big difference. Let's talk about, I love that you transitioned there, let's talk about NEM 3 strategies, okay? How to sell solar and storage under NEM 3 in California. You touched on one of those strategies, your rate saver strategy, and we'll go into that. But really, I've kind of narrowed it down to 3 different customer types in California, 3 different buckets that they may fall into. And the first one is they just want to use the battery and the solar to get a return on investment. Its primary function, the battery, is as an investment. It's not available for battery backup. Its primary functionality is as an investment to get that ROI on solar and make it make sense from a financial standpoint. Bucket number 2, customer number 2, do they fall into that? They want some ROI on their solar. That's important to them, but they also want to have the functionality of having emergency load battery backup, fridge, freezer, lights, basic power, not powering the whole home, not a total offset, but still having the battery available for that function. And function number 3, or customer number 3, if they fall into that bucket, might be whole home backup, backing up all of the loads for the entire home if the grid were to go down. Now, as we talk to installers that are trying to learn these strategies, let's go into the one that you mentioned, the rate saver, which I believe is going to be the most easy to sell basically to the masses, because not everybody can maybe afford all the batteries to do a whole home backup, and not everybody has the upfront investment to have a battery for battery backup, using the interface as an example. But the rate saver strategy can help save money on people's bills using solar and energy storage, and do so in a very functional and easy way. Talk about the rate saver strategy for that first type of customer.
Yeah, and absolutely. So again, agreed with you. We see it as it's going to apply to the masses. It's probably going to be your most popular product that you're going to be presenting to a homeowner, because it's going to offer the quickest savings, your quickest ROI, return on your investment for buying the system. So with the rate saver, again, you're going to get your highest ROI. You're going to get be able to store your power be able to sell back at the most advantageous times for the homeowner at the peak rates that the utility is offering for you. That's going to be for, again, probably your most cost customer that's looking for a little bit lower cost and return on investment.
Right, exactly. So the battery, like Brian mentioned earlier, is discharging at the most opportune times, whether to the loads or to the grid, and then is charging at the most opportune times from the solar or even from the grid when the rates are cheap, as an example, right? So that makes total sense. Now, for that customer, the battery's not available for battery backup. What if a year or two down the road, I know the answer, but I just thrown it out there. What if in a year or two down the road they decide, I like having my battery, I like the functionality for the ROI, but we had a grid outage and my refrigerator and my lights turned off. Can we do something about that? And that's really as easy as just going back and adding an interface, or what does that look like?
Yeah, and kind of to piggyback off what Brian had said earlier, we see this as an organic seed for an installer to go in and maybe the first sale is a rate saver, right, option where it's just inverter and backup. And because they may not experience very many power outages, that may change down the line. So if that does happen, an installer is able to go back there and add the backup interface and have those critical loads that you need for emergency, your kitchen or your living room, so that you have Wi-Fi or your food doesn't go back in the refrigerator during a power outage. So they'll have that option to go back and add the interface so the customer has that option.
How cost effective is that? Is it a quick install to throw the interface into the mix afterwards? Is it pretty easy, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's pretty easy because now, the PV stuff is all done. Battery, all that stuff has been done on the first install. Now really just going in and adding the backup, the interface, and, if you need to relocate those loads, that's definitely going to be a lot easier than it was, at the initial point. So now it's just taking that secondary part down the line and doing it.
Awesome. From the installer's perspective, Alex Perez, installer-facing representative here with Solagent, joining us from Solar Edge. And by the way, Solar Edge, available here at Solagent. Click on the link below to find out more. Become a dealer and get Solar Edge solutions available today. Click on the link below. We have these in stock and available. Solar Edge right here at Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. Alex, amazing. From the installer's point of view, what kind of questions should installers be asking customers to determine which one of those three buckets they might fall in, the rate saver or ROI plus some emergency backup or whole house backup? What questions would you recommend folks ask ask customers to discover which bucket they fall into?
Yeah. I think the very first question that they would want to ask, from the sales installer to the homeowner would be, how often are they experiencing these power outages? And if it's pretty often, then hey, this is going to be a great solution for this customer, whether it be now or down the line. And depending on how often they get it, then you can follow up questions like, hey, well, if during a power outage, what's going to be most important to you to have to back up during those power outage times? For most people, it may just be, hey, I just need my fridge and my Wi-Fi and my TV. For others, it may be medical equipment, or I want to be able to charge my car if I need to leave the house. So, all those questions are going to be crucial to finding out which type of customer this is.
That's it. It's all about discovery. You're experienced as being an installer, so I'm so glad Brian brought you in, and we'll talk to Leandro here in just a moment as well. Experience with installers from that standpoint. Installers are our customers here at Solagent. They're out there talking to customers and homeowners, and they're not just installers, they're salespeople, and one of the most important jobs of a salesperson is discovery, questions, the power of the right questions, right? And you nailed it. That's a great question to figure out and discover, whether they need batteries or not, because maybe they don't need to make that upfront investment. They might use the batteries for a different function, but battery backup or not. And so whether they want to have that extra cost of the interface to have the battery backup or not, it might not be important to them if you ask them that question. How often are you experiencing power outages? if the answer is about once every 5 years, then maybe they don't care, right? Maybe that's not important to them, but you're all about discovering what's important to that homeowner and figuring out the right questions to ask, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we mentioned earlier, Brian had mentioned the EV. You guys talked a little bit about EV. You know, in the past, EV was not necessarily a topic of conversation. But with California mandating it in a few years from now, I mean, that should be a question that's being talked about every single time. And again, with our solutions, you're able to go back as an installer. You planted that organic seed in the initial install, and now you can go back and install that EV charger if needed.
Excellent, excellent. And I don't want to steal Leandro's thunder, so we'll touch on some of this with you in a moment. Leandro, Alex, and Brian from Solar Edge here at the Solagent Sacramento Warehouse grand opening happening 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 here in Sacramento. The tacos, you can smell it in the air. Mike Tardell, the man, the myth, the legend from Solagent, live on the air with us here. Right on. We're having lots of fun. Customers galore. Everyone's having a blast. This is a celebration.
Yeah, it's a great event. Glad to be here.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. You know, one of the advantages of the many advantages of Solar Edge, available, by the way, at Solagent, click on the link below to find out more, folks, is UL9540A for your batteries. Safety aspect, right? You have the ability, spacing-wise, to not have to space out batteries on an install, 3 feet or what have you. I mean, that makes a big difference. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, that's a huge one. I'm glad you touched on it. So, you know, in the past, sometimes people were scared of the whole battery solution because, you may be complicating things, right? Can it be installed inside? Can it be installed outside? How much space do I actually need? So having that for Solar Edge is going to be huge for an installer. It can be installed inside the garage. It can be installed on the exterior wall, spaced together. Or
excuse me, did you say it could be installed outside? That's a huge plus right there.
Yes.
That's a huge plus. The battery itself can be put out on the wall as well?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So, and on top of that, you can stack them or side by side. And again, you mentioned earlier, you don't need that 3-foot spacing if you're going to put them side by side.
Yeah. And that makes a big difference because what if you have an area on your wall where, okay, that battery would fit perfect right there, and I want to put another battery right next to it, but the corner of the wall turns this way, and so we can't do that because of the spacing requirements if it's another type of battery. But if it's a Solar Edge home battery, that doesn't apply with UL9540A, right, from a spacing standpoint?
That is correct, yes.
Ultimate flexibility, efficiency, cost effectiveness, and multiple strategies. I mean, you can program in what you want to do for each customer, right?
Correct. And most importantly, it's going to be huge for the installers. They're not going to look at it the same way as they used to before with, having to have that space and so many things that have to do. It's going to be a super easy install process for them, and we see them all easily adapting to it.
Excellent. Alex Perez from the installer's perspective joining us from Solar Edge here today. Very wise words. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely. Thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. And we're not done with Solar Edge here on the Beyond Emissions podcast, broadcasting live 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 in Sacramento for our grand opening. Go Solagent. Solar Edge is here, and we've got him on the Beyond Emissions podcast today, Brian, Leandro, and Alex. Leandro is coming up in just a moment as our next guest, again from the installer's perspective. To wrap things up, Solar Edge is an amazing technology available here at Solagent. So Leandro, coming up just a moment, Leandro Dumante, right here on the Beyond Emissions podcast by Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. Be right back. CALSSA, CALSSA, stands for California Solar and Storage Association. Join over 700 companies, including Solagent, and become a CALSSA member today. Go to www.calssa.org/join and enter Solagent as the discount code and receive 10% off your first year. Membership starts as low as $500 per year and covers you and your entire company. You can pay in monthly installments or once per year. Why join CalSA? For over 40 years, CalSA has been fighting for your rights in California. If you're an installer or contractor in California, it's CalSA working behind the scenes on your behalf to protect the solar and energy storage business you and your companies rely on each day. Imagine the utilities are totally unchecked without CalSA fighting for you. CalSA fights for your rights and also provides resources like direct one-on-one support from their experts to help you with your questions, navigating everything from NEM 3 to battery fire code compliance. CalSA will help you and your company to stay up to date on the latest policy changes that impact the California solar and storage market and your bottom line. Joining CalSA helps to fund their work to lobby for cutting solar and storage red tape, pass pro-solar laws, and to defend your business from attacks. Become a CalSA member today at www.calsa.org/join and enter the discount code Solagent to receive 10% off your first year. CalSA is fighting for you and your business. Join over 700 companies like Solagent and make a difference in the California solar and energy storage market today. Beyond Emissions Podcast, we're back. 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 in Sacramento, the Solagent Sacramento warehouse. Grand opening happening right now. Pre-recorded here today at the Beyond Emissions Podcast, which is always available at the Solagent YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below so you can be a part of this ongoing conversation about what it's going to take to create a world that is beyond emissions. Our marketing coordinator, give it up for Kelsey Moncada. Right on, she's here. Great work. Good job, Kelsey. We've got an amazing event, and we can't thank all of our participants here today, our customers coming through. We've got the tacos and quesadillas and burritos, and our awesome vendor partners spotlighted on this episode here today. Solar Edge Technologies available here at Solagent. Click on the link below to find out more and become a Solar Edge dealer today. So many different advantages to Solar Edge. And continuing on, thanks so much, Brian and Alex, talking about savings, efficiency, also as well from the installer's perspective, labor timelines, cost associated with those timelines, in addition to some different strategies that homeowners can employ as it pertains to Solar Edge technology. Joining us now, again from the Installer Vantage Point, Leandro Damonte from Solar Edge. Thanks for joining us here on the Beyond Emissions Podcast, Leandro.
Thanks for having me. Very lovely day today. You guys have an amazing warehouse, so happy to be here.
Oh man, isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
You have a chance to walk in and go, hello, hello, hello. It is so big, right?
It's awesome.
Oh, and I went down one of the aisles and I saw the Solar Edge technology product is in stock and ready to rock. People can join us here for will call pickup. We do delivery as well. 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 in Sacramento. The Solagent Sacramento warehouse is now open and ready to roll. So let's talk a little bit more about the advantages. Alex touched on those different strategies. What type of customers, homeowners exist under NEM 3? What type of strategies can be employed by those homeowners to get maximum value? And you know, one of them is a rate saver, and Brian mentioned when we were off the air that there's kind of some different aspects to rate saver that apply to all three of those types of customers, whether it's ROI for your solar, ROI with emergency load battery backup, or ROI as well, and having whole house backup. All of those different customer types are able to be taken care of by Solar Edge Technologies using the rate saver technology and strategy. Talk a little bit about that. And again, thanks. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so you mentioned it earlier, you know, NEM 3, a lot of us are not happy about the change. People are scared of change, but we really don't have to be if we're prepared for it, right? So with Solar Edge, we have three different types. You already mentioned it earlier: the rate saver, the critical loads, and then the full home battery backup, right? The idea is you're going to the home, you have multiple different options to offer your homeowner. We think that solar only is not going to make any more sense, so rate saver is probably going to be the more popular option, right? So what does rate saver mean? All this means is we're not doing any backup. We're just doing, time of use or mitigation, right? So you can pull your excess solar or charge the battery during peak rates or whenever it makes sense for you to sell back. That's where you can use the battery, right? And I think Brian and Alex touched on it earlier already. And within RateSaver, we think there's different types of customers, but ideally, at the end of the day, it's the same what they want, right? We have people who do cash deals, people who do PPOs, power purchase agreements, or people who do loan. With RateSaver, what you're avoiding by not doing a full home or critical loads battery backup is the extra cost that comes with that, right? So with this, you're able to cut down the payback rate. So either it means a faster ROI for the people who pay cash, or lower monthly fee for the people who do like lease or PPOs, right? So that's the biggest advantage of RateSaver, and we think a lot of the solar-only customers are going to be moving to RateSaver, right? So, and that's all we mean when we say RateSaver. I know the term might be a bit confusing, but that's all that is time of use or mitigation.
And there's no ability to have battery backup under that plan, but there's expandability, there's flexibility. Talk a little bit about that. You're not locked in if you decide you want to power some lights in the fridge when the grid goes down as well.
Exactly. So if your customer asks you, they have a grid outage, you ask them the discovery questions like, oh, we're actually not seeing any outage. We just want to save money fast. But then, a week later, a month later, they call you back saying, you know what, we actually want a full-on battery backup system. Now, that's an opportunity for you either to sell more solar or just add on a battery backup system by adding the backup interface unit or doing critical loads, whatever's important to your customer.
I like that you just brought that up, because traditionally in solar, it doesn't work that way. Generally, you have a customer one time, right?
Exactly.
You don't get to go back and have a second or third revenue stream, a second or third bite at that apple. I'm speaking from the installer's vantage point as a business owner. To have the ability to open up that Rolodex, I can imagine a great strategy would be to get someone on RateSaver. The battery's there for ROI functionality and payback only. No battery backup available. You plant the seed. Hey, we'll check in with you next year or 6 months, or put it in your CRM or in your Rolodex. I'm dating myself how old I am, but yeah, you go back and you have an opportunity to talk to that customer again and get a second potential sale out of the same customer. Traditionally, solar business has not worked that way, right?
Exactly. So that's what it is now we're going from a one-time solar only sell to multiple sales. You brought up reselling battery backup, and we talked about it earlier, being able to add an EV charger. A lot of us are going to be getting EVs in the future. Right now you can add on an EV charger on the same breaker that you're adding the battery and the inverter without having to risk an MPUs. And Brian and Alex talked about the pains of MPUs, right? Longer timelines, more costs, higher risk of cancellation, things like that, right?
And I would imagine in the sales proposal, in that pitch, it's probably smart for our business owners to include in their proposal language, let's plant that seed.
Yeah.
We've determined that this customer doesn't need batteries for storage for backup right now, but they need it for ROI purposes. But let's plant the seed that, call us when you get your electrical vehicle. We'll be ready to help you. Call us, or we'll follow up with you at a prescribed time or date on potentially using batteries for battery backup and adding that capability later on. And it could be potentially 2 or 3 additional sales in addition to the initial install, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And you talked about it earlier too. You talked about tools. A tool that I want to bring up today is our designer software. If you've ever installed SolarEdge, ever in your lifetime, you have a login with us, you already have access not only to our designer tool, but our new sales proposal tool. So, you're talking about it earlier, you're going to the home, you want to plant the seed, you can have multiple different tabs of RateSaver, no BUI, or RateSaver, critical loads backup, whole home battery backup, and we can show the different payback periods. But the biggest thing is you have different options that you can offer your customer, right? So you're coming in there, now you have more to sell, not just a one-time solar only sell. You can come back, do an upsell, and help your customers out, really.
Wow, and they're expecting it. So, I mean, it's not like a cold call when you follow back up on that, and they're already happy with you.
Yeah.
It's that much easier to close a customer that's already happy with you and is already doing business with you, right?
Exactly.
Wow, what a great business idea, right? This is a way to think of batteries as a tool. I love that you said that. Batteries are now a tool that can help you expand your business and sell to a customer potentially multiple times instead of just once.
Yeah. We really have to step away from being solar-only people to energy experts now, right? We're pretty much helping out the customer with the energy needs. The same customer that's getting solar now is also looking into getting an EV, getting into a battery, right? So these are the same types of customers. So we have to be the experts for them, not just a one-time solar-only sale.
Awesome. You've earned yourself a taco. Leandro! Thank you, Leandro DeMonte, Alex Perez, Brian Ahrens from SolarEdge Technologies, available here at Solagent. Click on the link below to find out more. Thank you so much, Leandro, Alex,
Thank you.
Brian. Appreciate you guys. And if you want to find out more about SolarEdge, just email me, storage@solagent.net, storage@solagent.net today, and we'll set you up. Leandro, talk a little bit about that before we go. By the way, folks, we are at 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 for the Sacramento warehouse for Solagent. Grand opening in Sacramento, celebration, tacos, drinks, fun. Talk a little bit about that. If a customer of ours, an installer who's listening, if they would like to get a personalized training from SolarEdge on all of these strategies for their team, how to use the proposal tool for their team, etc., we can set that up. We can schedule that for them, correct?
Definitely. Reach out to your Solagent rep, and he'll either hand you off to me or Alex, and we can get a training all set up for your team.
SolarEdge Technologies available right here at Solagent. Thanks so much. Appreciate Leandro and as well Alex and Brian from SolarEdge. Again, become a SolarEdge dealer today. Click on the link below to find out more. We're having an exciting day. Guys, go get some tacos. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. SolarEdge available here at Solagent. Click on the link below to find out more. What an exciting broadcast today for our podcast here at the Solagent YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below your questions. If you have any questions, would you like to meet with SolarEdge and have a personalized training for your business? Email me. I'm Josh Brum, host of the program, but also energy storage manager here at Solagent. I can coordinate that so you can get a personalized training on these SolarEdge technology advantages, how to sell these opportunities for savings to your customers. Join us. Email me, storage@solagent.net. I'm Josh Brum, your host. Again, we're broadcasting live here, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125, Sacramento warehouse, our Solagent warehouse, Sacramento grand opening right here for the Beyond Emissions podcast by Solagent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas.
We at Solagent are incredibly excited to announce our partnership with Give Power. But we wouldn't be here today talking to you about Give Power if it wasn't for our partners, LoanPal. They've been with Give Power since the beginning. Their contribution has given water and light to countless people across the globe. We are truly inspired by LoanPal's dedication to the cause. Something LoanPal said really strikes a chord regarding Give Power, that this is something that's more than money. It's what makes making money more worthwhile. In a lot of ways, that's synonymous with what we're doing here at Solagent.
Here's how you can help.
What we've decided to do is compound LoanPal's contribution by donating to Give Power on every order paid via our direct pay program through LoanPal. That's right. Every time your company uses your LoanPal portal to pay Solagent for material, 5 people get clean drinking water for a full year.
Together we're stronger.
Together, we can choose to be extraordinary by giving to people who live outside our reach. To us, this means a lot.
Solagent's purpose meets Give Power's mission. Join the impact. Solagent, Solar Engine. SolarEngineSolutions.com. Go there to find out more.